Barakatah wa shalom, hayalatah. Blessings and peace. And greetings to the 12 tribes which are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth that has the great expectation of Yeshua HaMashiach to return and to regather us into his kingdom. This is the holy day of the Passover. And we have here the Ak Mike, we have Ak Yahawada, and I am Yeshub #Judah. And what we're going to do is we're going to be discussing some precepts that's going to be dealing with the Passover. We're going to talk about going into Egypt, us being enslaved in Egypt. We're going to talk about the coming out of Egypt and the wilderness experience. And we're also going to show and prove who these Israelites were during this particular time. And we're also going to talk about the blessings that we receive in coming back to the Most High, to his laws, building and entering into the new kingdom that he has prepared for us. So as we get into this, let's do our credo, the Hebrew credo. And it's Shema Yasharallah, Ahaya, Elahaya Nawa, Ahaya Akkad.
Shema Yasharallah, Ahaya Nawa, Ahaya Akkad.
Shema Yasharallah, Ahaya, Elahaya Nawa, Ahaya Akkad.
Shema Yasharallah, Ahaya Nawa, Ahaya Akkad.
Shema Yasharallah, Ahaya, Elahaya Nawa, Ahaya Akkad.
Shema Yasharallah, Ahaya Nawa, Ahaya Akkad. All together.
Hero Israel, Ahaya, our power is one. Khan. So let's get right into this here. Let's get Exodus chapter 1, verses 1 through 10.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher, and all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. For Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto the people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them out of the land.
So what we got here, I was thinking about this just the other day. I was thinking that it's a gentleman that I'm going to start studying with, and he has a problem with trying to understand how there is one nation in this earth that is above all other nations, right? So I was thinking to myself, Mike, I said, you know, I think it's funny that a lot of people think like that. How can one nation be above any other nation? Especially you talking about us, who has always been at the bottom, right? So the thought came to my mind, you don't find a problem with believing that one church or one religion or one denomination is above all other nations, and with that denomination or that church or that religion, all people must come to that to be saved. You know, Seventh-day Adventists feel like you got to be in the Seventh-day Adventist. Church of Christ feel like you got to be in Church of Christ. But the purpose of the Hebrew, and it is one nation, right? The purpose of the Hebrew is that salvation comes through the Hebrew. That's what Yasha told the lady at the well, right? So here we see this right here, that Ahaya is dealing with what? A nation. He's dealing with people. He is not dealing with a religion, okay? So this has nothing to do with religion. At verse 5, read verse 5, what does it say again?
Verse 5. Verse 5 was, And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob
Right.
were 70 souls.
Right.
For Joseph was in Egypt already.
So we're talking about souls, a nationality of people here, right? That have went into Egypt, okay? Now, there's one more thing that I want to touch on here. It says, in verse 8, I'll read it here. It says, and now there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph, right? And it says, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are now mightier, more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when they falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. When you go into your Jasher, you see that this is a spirit. A spirit that Egypt had. Egypt was only great because of we were in there, okay? Same thing with America. America's only great because we are here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Egypt and America both had the same problem, which was, look what I got. Look what I did. They forgot it was because of the blessing of the Hebrew people that were in their nation, right? And so they looked at it and they said everywhere they looked, they saw what? Hebrews. Now we started in Goshen with 70 souls. In a matter of 300 years, we became a mighty nation up in Egypt. Everywhere they looked, they saw what? Hebrews everywhere, right? They said we got to get these people up out of here. Because they understood that those people, if they come together, just like today, if we come together with one mind and serve one power, what are they going to be able to do with us?
Conquer everybody.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to do. What did Job 9:24 say? That this world was given over to the hands of the wicked. And so the Hebrew people that got the laws of Ahiah, we are a threat to the princes and the powers of this world. Because our law override their law. Understand? Come, what we got next? We got Exodus chapter 5, 22 and 23.
Exodus chapter 5, 22 and 23. And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, Lord, wherefore hast thou so evil entreated this people? Why is it that thou hast sent me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in thy name, he hath done evil to this people. Neither hast thou delivered thy people at all.
Now, this was a testing time, not only for Moses, but also for the children of Israel. Again, if you go into your Jasher, you will see that from the time Pharaoh went to Pharaoh, from the time Moses went to Pharaoh the first time, 2 years had passed. He went to Pharaoh the first time. Pharaoh said, give me the book so I can see the name of your God. Right? Check the books because all other nations got gods, right? So he had a book that had all the deities in it. Give me a book that got the name of your God. Who said that I need to let these people go, right? And so he checked the book. They couldn't find the higher, right? And Pharaoh said, get out of here. Get out of here. You talking foolish. 2 years passed now, right? So now the Israelites themselves got to be like, man, is this dude for real? Because what Pharaoh did when he went to him, he put him out and then he increased the work. He increased the work on the Hebrews. Now the Hebrews what? They mad at Moses.
Yeah.
They mad at Moses. You know, what we say, man, you're going to make them good white folks mad at us. You know what I'm saying? They done made Pharaoh, right. Now they mad at Moses. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now Moses like, higher. You know, why have you evil entreated? Because going into that promised land, going into the land of Canaan, is just going to be the same as us going into the kingdom. Only the righteous is going to go in there. You see what I'm saying? You got to think about 600,000 came out, right? How many went in? Only 2. You see what I'm saying? 2 out of that original stock. You see? So right now comes a testing time even for the children of Israel. We're going to show you the heart of Pharaoh, and I'm also going to show you the heart of the people that I'm bringing out, right? So that's what it was here, right? So what we got next? We got chapter 6, verse 1 and 2.
Exodus 6, verse 1 and 2. Then the Lord said unto Moses, now shalt thou see what I will do to Pharaoh, for with the strong hand shall he let them go, and with the strong hand shall he drive them out of his land. And God spake unto Moses and said unto him, I am the Lord.
All right. We're finna have a battle of the gods right now, right? We finna have a battle with Yahweh, A lot of people don't understand that Yahweh was the Canaanite God that was already in Egypt before we even got there. And this was the God that Pharaoh was serving.
Yeah.
We finna have a battle with Yahweh, and we finna have a battle with Ahiah. And now think about this, man. If you had servants that worked for you and they was making you money, are you going to easily let them go?
No.
You're not going to let them go.
Not at all.
Part of the punishment that Pharaoh said after he kicked Moses out because he couldn't find the name of Ahiah was, we're going to get these Hebrews to build our cities for us. He said, now I want you to go through. We had been in Egypt for so long, just like now we've been in America, that we had become Egyptians.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? So, and we are up under them, and we
Yeah.
thinking that they're our brethren.
That's a
You
very
see?
good-
And
very
so
good point.
Pharaoh said, look, you go to them and tell them, hey, we need you to help us build up these cities. And as they're building, you slowly start disappearing away from them. And when you come back, you're going to be their taskmaster. You see? You're going to pay them at first, but then we're going to stop paying them. Then we're going to make them work harder. They're going to be so tired that they can't go home and deal with their wives. That's going to slow the population down. You see what I'm saying? So how you saying, look, we're going to have to break Pharaoh down because he's not going to want to let you go. Just like America. What did Jeremiah say? He said that time going to come when Ahiah break the yoke. Yeah, you are exactly right. What was that statement that you just made a while ago?
That name Yahweh, by already being on the Egyptian walls, we didn't know our God's name until we came out. So today, you got this Egyptology thing, and they go to scriptures. Since they put it in scriptures, that's why there's such a struggle with the name Ahiah and Yahweh.
Right.
And not knowing that the golden calf was also named Yahweh.
Exactly. The golden calf was Yahweh that they built. And, you know, I don't know if I'm moving a little too fast here, but I was sharing this with Mike not long ago. When they built that golden calf, we were only out of Egypt 3 months. 3 months. We had only came out 3 months before they built that calf. Moses up in the mountain getting the laws, the statutes, and the judgments from Ahiah. They down there, they look and say, oh, we don't know what happened to this dude Moses. Hey, Aaron, build us a golden calf to say that that's going to be our God, and he the one that delivered us out of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Now, the lesson in that is this. If we don't get our faith in Ahiah right now the way that it's supposed to be, when we do hit that wilderness, because that wilderness is going to be bad, bro. When we hit that wilderness, you are going to revert back to what you used to.
Eating pork.
You're going to revert back to your Jesus Christ. You see what I'm saying? You're going to revert back to that. And all it takes is just a little bit of pressure. You see what I'm saying? Look, the whole world loves and celebrate who? Jesus. So when you go through something right now today. Lose your house, lose your job, lose some money. You're going to have a family member that's going to call you that know that you're calling on his name Ahiah. They're going to call you and say, hey, just call on Jesus, baby. You see what I'm saying? And don't think that that thought is not going to cross your mind. You see what I'm saying? Just call on Jesus, baby. Just pray to Jesus. 3 months they was out of Egypt and they built them a golden calf, Yahweh, because that's who they was used to serving. Right? How you say, I'm going to prove you to see if you love me or not, if you would keep my laws and keep my statutes. And only those that love him went into the kingdom. Only those that love him is going to go into the kingdom, man. That's what this period time right now. What we got next, Elder? We got Exodus chapter 12.
Exodus 12, 1 through 3. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month shall they take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. Okay, in 1 through 3, and then 7 through 12. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on two side posts, and on the upper door posts of the houses, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it.
Okay, let me hold on for a minute, Mike. I want to go back to verse 1 and 2, where this should be the beginning of the year, right?
Okay.
This should be, how does he say it? This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. We are separate. We are different. We are not like the rest of the world. That's one of the things that I started knowing and understanding quickly when I came into this truth of who we are. That we don't do things like everybody else. Right?
Exactly.
January the 1st, that is this world's New Year. Right? So, what did he say? He said, let these laws be your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the other nations. Me and the brother was just talking about it earlier, that Ahia has a care for all of the other nations. But the only way the other nations is going to know the truth is that they got to see it through us. Right? So, right now, when life starts, springtime, trees start blooming, right? Flowers start growing. Animals that's been asleep all winter, they start waking up.
Right.
That's the beginning of the year, brother.
It's common sense.
That's common sense, right?
It's common sense.
It's common sense. The beginning of the year when life begins. But this world, right? The opposite of Ahia, right? They New Year's is in the dead of winter. Everything cold, everything froze, everything sleep, right? But then, look, those that know Ahia say, like I just said, that's common sense. But those of the world, they be like, man, you crazy. You see what I'm saying? That's foolishness to them. That is foolishness to them, man. Yeah, so I just want to deal with that. And I also want to deal with, before you go any farther, I want to deal with where you started in verse 7. Let me see. Did you read verse 6? Yes, verse 7. Read verse 7 and 8 again.
Okay. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on 2 side posts and on the upper doorposts of the houses wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it.
This is salvation right here. There was a plague of darkness that came through Egypt at this particular time, right before this one, right? When that plague of darkness came through, remember I told you it was 2 years before Pharaoh, during that time that Moses went to Pharaoh, right? So, and then he increased the work. And so you had a group of Hebrews that was mad at Moses because of that. And they complained against Moses, right? So during that time of darkness, when you go into your Jasher again, you will see that a lot of Hebrews died as well during that time of darkness. So Egypt wasn't the only one being tested. We were being tested as well, right? So why did they die? Because they complained against the servant of the Most High, for one. And they didn't have faith in what it was that he was going to do for them. You see what I'm saying? So, it's real simple here. Real simple. Now, to the Hebrews, well, to Moses, he said, look, tell them to take the blood, put it on the doorpost. If the blood is on the doorpost, what's going to happen? Their things is going to what? Going to bypass. Egyptians had the same liberty of doing that as well. A lot of people don't understand that. They had the same liberty to do that as well. All they had to do was listen, right? That's how easy salvation is. What did Paul say? Don't let the simplicity of the gospel. You see what I'm saying? It's not that hard, man. It is not that hard. If you wanted your firstborn to live that night, put the blood on the doorpost.
Common sense.
Common sense. Eating of the lamb is having Yasha, our Savior, what? Inside of us, right? Eating of the lamb. And we were supposed to eat that thing up. We're supposed to have none of it left.
Nothing left.
Nothing left, right? Nothing left. And the bread, the unleavened bread is doctrine, right? Bread is a representation of doctrine, right? Unleavened, pure, unadulterated doctrine inside of you. With your Savior in you. You got everything that you need. So you done did what? Both works and faith. You done did what he asked you to do, and you had the faith. When you go into your Jasher, have you read the story in the Jasher, Brother Willie? When you go in your Jasher, when they wake up the next morning, they heard wailing all through Egypt because everybody's kids was dead. But say they went to the Hebrews, man, they was up in there eating and having them a good time. Because they did what Ahia said to do. Because they did what Ahia said to do. All praises to Ahia. What we got next? 30 through 37?
Yeah, 30 through 37. Yeah, that's powerful.
Did you get 10, 11, and 12?
Oh, okay.
Stopped at 8.
Okay, then, Con.
Okay. You said 10 through 7 through 12.
Yeah, you did 7 and 8.
Okay, so we started at 9. Okay, 9.
Sorry about
Neat,
that.
verse 9. Eat not of it raw or sodden at all with water, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire his head with his legs, and with pure pertinence thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning shall burn with fire.
Come.
Wow. And thus shall eat it with your loins girded, with your shoes on your feet, and with your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover.
Right.
Wow.
So in other words, when all of this is over with, it's gonna be time to go. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be time to go because this is a highest Passover, right? Keep going.
Okay.
Verse 12.
For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt. I will execute judgment. I am the Lord.
Right. And so the firstborn, why the firstborn? Because Jacob is the highest firstborn. Exactly. You holding my firstborn captive, guess what I'm gonna do?
Okay.
I'm gonna smite your firstborn. You see what I'm saying? Jacob is my firstborn. And there's another that's another point to let you know that Ahiah has care for the other nations. If Jacob is the firstborn, that means that there must be
others.
Right.
Wow.
He came before her. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But she's here.
Right, but she's here. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Jacob is his firstborn.
Wow.
Come.
Wow, man. Never saw it like this before. Wow.
So we got 30 through 37.
37. Okay. Verse 30. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead.
Wow.
And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, Rise up and get you forth from among my people. Be ye and the children of Israel and go, both ye and the children of Israel and go. Serve the Lord ye as ye have said.
And all of that happened just because of disobedience, man. That's the only reason that the firstborns were slain, because of disobedience, man. Now I want you to get out of here because Ahiah, we don't want nothing to do with that. Keep going.
Wow. Also take your flocks and your herds, as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. Wow. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, We be all dead men. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels and silver and jewels of gold and raiment.
Say, we did not come up out of there without.
Wow.
Ahiah even provided for us going up out of there. You see?
Wow.
And it's the same way it's going to be when we come up out of this captivity, man. You know? It's going to be the exact same way.
Read 34 again.
And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders.
And the people took their dough before
It was
leavened. That means they did a Carl Lewis out of there.
Yeah, like you said, they didn't have time.
They didn't even have time. They just zoomed.
Yeah.
And by the time daylight came, they were already gone.
They were gone.
Okay, that was verse
36 and 37.
Okay, 36 and 37 again. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses and to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men, beside children.
Gone. 600,000 on foot that were men, besides the children. And we grew to that population in a little bit under 400 years, man. You tell me Ahiah is not good. With the adversity that they was doing to us, man, because the eugenics program ain't nothing new today. They had eugenic programs. They was feeding us to the alligators. They were killing them. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of things to try to keep us from populating, yet we populated anyway. Just like today, they killing us in the streets, we still populating.
Still populating, that's
You
right.
know, they put GMOs and stuff in the foods, we still
Trying to
populating.
kill us all.
Come.
Man, powerful. That's powerful.
So now we finna go into showing who these people are today, the people that was in Egypt. We're gonna start with Deuteronomy 28:1.
Okay.
Deuteronomy 28:1. And I'm gonna prove to you that there's no such thing as African American. I'm gonna show you where that name came from. Scipio Africanus, Leo Scipio Africanus, a Roman general that took over Africa at the Battle of Hannibal. That's where African came from. Americano Vespucci, an Italian explorer, founded the land called America. So when we was crying over names and being asked what to be called, they got together and got these two Edomites and went to court and labeled us African American. You know who you want to thank for that? What's the preacher's name?
Who was that? Oh, Al Sharpton. Was
No,
it
his
not?
buddy.
Was
Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson.
Yeah.
Jesse
You
Jackson.
can thank Jesse Jackson for that.
Yeah, that's it. Jesse Jackson. You know, I just read a deal 2 while ago, man. If I had my tablet, I could read it to y'all. Just on what you talking about, how they came to court and give me that, Mike. Give me my tablet out of the front thing. How they came to court. Now that's not it. It's in the front. He know where it's at. They came to court and gave us their name, African American. Well, in their records, they got to where the reason why police officers are allowed to shoot us and to get away with it. Let me see if I can get this right quick now. Hold on, shouldn't take me long.
This is the Passover, the ending of the Passover. We're coming to the end of it.
I screenshotted it.
As the Passover ends tonight, it goes into the first day of unleavened bread. And that's another high holy day. It goes for 7 days of eating unleavened bread, which you heard that what we left out of Egypt with.
Come.
So it's a remembrance of what they had to go through eating unleavened bread. But right now we toward the end of Passover.
So I want to read this and then we're going to get into your scriptures. It said, this is how lawyers get the police off when they kill black people. It says, persons of African descent cannot be, nor were ever intended to be, citizens under the U.S. Constitution. That's what they got, Supreme Court here. This is, you know what I'm saying? So, that right there should let you know that we're still what? In what?
Slavery.
Still in captivity.
Still in captivity.
Still in
Still
captivity.
captivity.
Right. Come.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Still, man, hey,
Yeah.
oh man.
So what we got? Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass. You ready?
Okay.
All right. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Ahijah thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Ahijah thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
If you listen to me, all these promises will come to you if you listen.
Come.
But we didn't.
We did.
Let's go to
We did.
Deuteronomy 32,
Okay.
16 through 21.
Okay. Deuteronomy 32, verse 16. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to God.
This is what we did when we were a nation of Israel under Solomon. And when Solomon had that 6-pointed star, he started doing the same thing, and the northern 10 tribes started doing it. And we provoked our God to anger, especially when we took our children to the fire. The Most High said, I've had enough.
Yeah.
Read.
They sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee. Where are we going to?
These are the gods of Christmas, the God of Easter, human sacrifice, and all of that mess. We started turning away from the Most High after He brought us out of Egypt, and we multiplied. This is what upset Him so much. Read.
And when the Lord saw it, He abhorred them because of the provoking of His sons and of His daughters. And He said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are very froward generation.
No more blessings. And when we went to war, we didn't lose not one man. But when He hid His face from us,
That's what He did.
that spirit left. Read.
Children in whom is no faith. Okay, verse 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people.
Con.
Not a people is outside of Israel.
Outside of Israel, yeah. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
That's your Edomites, Ishmaelites.
Amalekite.
They have provoked me to anger. I'm going to show you how angry the Most High got.
Wow.
What's the next one?
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah 17 and 4.
Jeremiah 17 and 4 says, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Wait, I will reread that.
Yeah, you can go ahead and read it.
I am.
Okay, okay.
Okay, I'll reread it. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
The heritage is the land of Israel. Read.
That I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Okay. We're going to take that and go to Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Now we're going to see the anger.
Okay.
We're going to see the anger.
Okay, Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
Let me get it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Deuteronomy 28 chapter verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee. And
If you don't listen to me, all these curses is going to come upon you. I'm going to take my belt and spank you right on your butt. Read.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
Cursed shall I be in the city, that's the ghettos. Cursed shall I be in the field, picking peas and picking cotton. Read.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
You ain't gonna own nothing.
For real.
Read.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, and the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when I goest out.
When you born and when you die, you're gonna be cursed your whole lifetime. You got something on that, Al?
Yeah, I do, man. Cursed shall thou be. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flock of thy sheep. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. Look at our children, man. Look at our children. It seems like every generation it gets a little bit worse.
Worse, yeah.
I went to go get a true story. They gonna laugh at me. I went to go get a haircut. Well, not a haircut. Get my beard trimmed up the other day. Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna make this real quick. Dude ran. He said, "Hold up, man." He said, "I'll be right back." He said, "I gotta go get this stuff." He went and got this stuff, black stuff, put it on my face, blows out. Yeah. I said, "Man, what is that you doing?" And he said, "Oh, that's a highlight, right?" So, long story short, he was like adding highlights and stuff, right? And I was like, "No." So what I told him, I said, "Nah, man." I said, "I'm old school." I said, "I'm 44 years old." I said, "Next time I come, I want you to take them clippers, plug them up in that wall over there. That's the only thing I want you to do, right?" So the thing, when he finished, this was the question that he asked me. He said, "You get your eyebrows done?" I said, "No." So now I'm thinking to myself, do dudes really come to the barber shop and get stuff like that? Look, cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. Look at what this world is coming to now. The man is no longer a man, and the woman don't know what she want to be no more. You see what I'm saying? And they have made things like this.
Deuteronomy 28.
Deuteronomy 28. 20? Okay, Deuteronomy 28 and 20. The Lord shall send upon thee curses, cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. Wow. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it.
That's diseases. Pestilence diseases.
High blood pressure. Diabetes and stuff too.
All right.
Okay, 22. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with a sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until you perish.
This happened to the North American Indian when they put disease in those blankets.
Smallpox.
Smallpox in the blankets.
Smallpox. Gone.
And the North American Indians are actually the tribe of Gad. They're also part of Israel. And you in America, black Americans, are from the tribe of Judah.
Gone.
Read.
Okay, verse 23. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is underneath shall be iron. That's talking about jail. Verse 24. The Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down unto thee, until thou be destroyed.
That verse 23 could also talk about them cotton fields too, though, Mike.
Yeah.
It's hot out there, man.
Oh,
and that ground. You know what I'm
man.
saying? Yeah, that's that heavy labor. And I think it's one thing that we need to understand is to really break these verses down is that Ahia did this to us, man, not for us to be consumed, but like he said at the beginning, this was punishment. And I'll be telling a lot of Hebrews this when they get to talking, they be like, "Can you believe that they did this like that Ethan Couch dude in Dallas got off?" I don't know if y'all followed that here, but it's a dude at Ethan Couch, which is a white guy, Edomite, got off for killing 4 people for driving drunk. And they be like, look what they do for the white man, but if it had been a black man, understand you are in your land of captivity.
Right.
We are here as a punishment. He didn't bring us over here for a vacation. So all of these things are happening to us. When you look at Leviticus 26, he said, and for all of this, that's what he'll say, you still did not turn back to me, right? So all of this that he's calling out, right? And we still want to continue to walk with these Gentiles. I call it Stockholm Syndrome. You know, we don't fall in love with the enemy, and we don't want to believe that they are our enemy.
And a lot of these curses also is a sign for the children in the latter days to know who they are.
Come, exactly.
So you know, when you say, look what they're doing to us being black, if you go to scriptures, it's going to show that the people of Israel would be punished like this. So this is how you find your identity.
Right.
By looking at these curses and wondering why the law is not the same for a white or Chinese,
Right.
or even an African to a black American.
Right.
There's a reason why.
Wow.
Read, Mike.
Okay. 2020. What was it? 24.
Use it 24?
Yeah.
Okay.
24.
I'll take up. And how you shall make the rain of thy land powder, and the dust from heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed. And how you shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemy. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and 7 ways before them, and shall be removed unto all the kingdoms of the earth.
Transatlantic slave trade.
And thy carcass shall be meat unto all the fowls of the air, unto all the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away.
That's when they hung us on trees and left our bodies hanging.
Come.
1960s, 1950s. If you can't see now that you are Israel off of that one scripture, read it again. Somebody missed it.
And thy carcass shall be meat unto all the fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. Did you know it was also illegal to remove some of the bodies?
Yeah.
It was illegal. Yeah,
It was
exactly.
illegal
If you
to
see a
remove
dead,
Yeah.
you know, and that's against our Torah too, because
Yeah.
Ahia told us that if you come across one of your brothers that had been slain, whether you know him or not, you bury that brother. You know, that's against our Torah. So everything that they do to us is actually against our Torah. Exactly. Exactly.
That's right. They a singer put a song called "Strange Fruit." She wrote a song about
Billie Holiday, was it
I
not?
think it was
Mike?
Billie Holiday.
Wasn't that Billie Holiday?
You know, yes, it was a lot of lynching going on during that time, and
God,
this is
strange
like you
fruit.
mentioned it. That's exactly what this is talking about right here. And I'm sure it was more than what we can actually count. That
Oh
took
yeah,
place.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And Issachar got hung on trees too, real
Yeah,
heavy.
Issachar-
A lot of
Issachar
people
got
don't
hung.
understand that.
Issachar.
And Issachar is the so-called Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? In South America, they got hung on trees as well. So where I'm at, verse 27.
Yeah.
Wait on.
No, I got it.
Okay then. Verse 27, and Ahia will smite thee with with bots of Egypt, and with emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed.
Now I'm going to show you something. I'm going to go back to 26. I just want to show you something right quick. And thy carcasses shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. Now, I said that was the time that they was hanging us freely. Now, didn't Christ tell us what they do to me, they're going to do to you too? Let's see if it was a cross. Acts 5 and 10. I'm sorry, it might be 30. 5 and 30, I think it's 30.
Acts 5 and
And
30.
30. Go to Acts 5 and 30. Let's see if this don't fit that verse.
Okay, Acts 5. Oh, go ahead.
Nah, you good.
Okay, Acts 5 and 30. The God of our fathers raised up Yahshua, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree.
Hung on a what?
A
On a
tree.
tree.
Didn't they hang us on trees?
They hung us on trees all day.
He said, what they do to me, they gonna do to you too.
Exactly
So
what
find out where this cross came from. It was a tree stump. 2 stumps over 300 pounds. That's why Christ couldn't carry.
Wow.
He was not only was he all beat, his face was disfigured. How you gonna carry something? You done got beat with the cat and nine tail, and you got a log going across and a log going down. You can't carry it. You can't carry it. But the point of this is, I'm showing you how in Christ's blood is in our blood. Judah, the black Americans. That's our bloodline. They wasn't hanging Mexicans in Mexico, Chinese in China. They were really tearing us apart, really right here in America, more than anywhere else, because they know we come from the same bloodline as Christ, the tribe of Judah. Okay, let's go back to Deuteronomy. We're on 29.
All right, come. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, and the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
And then y'all finish college and don't know what you're gonna do. Put out applications and they won't hire you. They did that real bad in the 1970s. We were allowed to go to colleges, but when you finish, nobody will hire you. You looking out the window with tears. And you can't find no job. There no jobs out, well, they out there, but they ain't gonna hire you. In the 60s, 50s, just wondering about your future. Some of us do that today. Wondering about our future.
So affirmative action push.
Exactly. Read.
In verse 30, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
That's doing slavery. But when one of the slaves got married, guess who was the first one to sleep with her? You got it. Master. Read.
Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
That's the house that's over in Washington, D.C., called the White House. There's a bunch of them we built during slavery. The mansions. We built all of them for massa, but we was out in our house.
Right.
Today you call it a garage.
Right.
Read.
Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
Cotton, peas, corn.
Thine ox shall be slain before thy eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thy ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. The sheep shall be given unto thine enemy, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them.
That's when we came out of Africa and we was going into the slave ships. You went on one ship and they took the children away and put them on another ship.
That's right.
Read.
Never saw them again.
And all the day long there should be no might in thy hand. And you know, even to bring that today, man, so that we can identify that this is us. Look at what CPS is doing to our children today, though. Right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, just bring it to today time, you know, because we're still dealing with these things, right? They taking our children away from us. Matter of fact, I saw a deal, and I think it was in, I forgot what state it was at. It was an advertisement for a dentistry to say, get your children's teeth clean. Paraphrase, get your children's teeth clean. And then right up under it, it had a little note that said, note that in this state, whatever state it was in, it was considered unlawful to not to take your children to the dentist to get their teeth clean. But what's the word? Abuse.
Want me to read it? Okay. But, sorry, y'all. Deuteronomy 28, verse 36. Okay. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
The wood is Christianity and the stone is Islam.
And thou,
Yeah, the cobblestone.
Yeah, the cobblestone. That's right. Verse 37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
Shall they become a what?
An astonishment.
And a what?
A proverb and a byword.
Nigga.
Yeah. Coon, darky,
Spook.
porch monkeys.
Porch monkey. Those are bywords. African American, Mexican, Puerto Rico,
Those are bywords.
Cuban, all them are bywords.
Man, where did you get porch monkey?
Yeah, I know, right? You know, even those cartoons back in the day, man, they were set up as astonishments for us to be. They was teaching the world to treat us differently with those cartoons, man.
In verse 38, thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shall gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. And 39. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but but shall neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worm shall eat them. Wow. Thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thy olive shall cast its fruit.
Let's jump down to 45.
Okay. Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
Upon thee for what?
A sign and for a wonder.
A sign to let you know who you really are.
Exactly. Exactly.
Search the scriptures.
Search the scriptures. And upon thy seed forever.
That's a lifetime.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Can y'all do me a favor and close those blinds for me, please? Yeah, just twist them. I appreciate it.
49.
49. 48 or 49?
49.
Okay. 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
That's your Edomites. That's your Caucasian. That's your Ishmael. Mainly Caucasians. What is America's symbol? Eagle. What is the Russian symbol?
Eagle.
Italian?
Eagle. That's Edom.
All Edom.
It's all Edom.
Wow.
Read.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Con.
Wow. In other words, they disrespected our old folk. This is bad.
They killed off kids,
They didn't care. They didn't
babies.
It didn't matter.
care. The gray-headed man who's lived a long time, they didn't care. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee, either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given thee.
Okay, let's drop down to 64 for time's sake.
Okay. Verse 64. Hold on. Y'all, I got some water in the fridge. Y'all want any water? Y'all good? Want some water? Anybody? Okay. Verse 60. Y'all good? Okay. Verse 60. Which one?
64.
Okay, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. That's the same wood and stone that was in the other.
That's the slave trade.
Wow. And among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy feet have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and a failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life.
Just think about what the slaves went through mentally.
Man.
Read.
Verse 67. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even, and in the even thou shalt say, would God if it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
How did you get to this country?
With a ship.
American Airlines? Greyhound?
No.
You black fools got here on them slave ships just like I did. Side by side. And if 68 don't wake you up, I don't know what else I can do.
For real.
Black America, you are the Hebrew Israelites from the tribe of Judah.
Con.
Absolutely.
Now, the Egypt means bondage. And when we finish that, I'm going to show you that in Exodus 20 and 1. Go ahead and finish.
Okay. Thou shalt see it no more again, and thou shalt be sold, and there thou shalt be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
And thou shalt what?
And thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
Ye shall be what?
Sold unto your enemies.
Be what?
Sold.
Sold to Mr. Jefferson.
Yeah.
Sold to Brother Mike.
Yeah.
Sold to Brother Jefferson. When they had us on blocks. Do you know they still do that today?
Yeah.
Go to the NFL when they train. They get up on the combine. They get up on this block. They stand straight up and they turn around and examine their body. That came from this right here. When we came off the slave ships and we had to go into this little like a market, and all the Edomites around place a bid. Now, if you can't see that we Israel, maybe it's just not your time to wake up. But that did it for me. Now, we're going to go on to Exodus 20 and 1. We're going to show you that Egypt means bondage. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Go for it.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am Ahiah, thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
The house of what?
The house of bondage.
That's slavery. So you go back to 68 and read it again. It's basically saying, I'm going to send your butt right back into slavery if you don't straighten your ASS up. And that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
We're going to go into, Mike going to take us in us coming back. When we wake up and come back as a people, he's going to show you the glory of the Israelites in Revelation. Take the time, run out of time now.
Yeah.
Amos 3 and 2.
Actually, I kind of wanted Marcus to do it.
Okay, it don't matter. Whoever got food for thought.
Yeah. Amos 3 and 2.
But if you got a thought, just jump in.
Oh yeah, I will. No doubt I will. But
Amos 3.
Amos 3.
Amos 3 and 2. Amos chapter 3. 2. That's not Amos. You got it, Mike?
Yeah, I got it.
Go ahead.
Okay, Amos 3 and 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Gone.
Wow.
Look, something I tell my kids all the time. I'm going to be real quick. I tell my kids, look, when your friends come over here, right, this is your house, okay? This is your house. So if something get broke, right, and you didn't tell them not to mess with that, I'm going to get on you because this is your house, right? There is no other family on this earth that Ahiah gave the laws to.
That's right.
So he gave the laws to us, so therefore we are breaking his laws. So therefore we are getting punished for breaking his. He's not dealing with those other nations for breaking laws. That's what I tell my kids all the time. Look, they don't have the law of not eating swine. They don't have the law of keeping the Shabbat. You see what I'm saying? We got that law. They have to denounce their God and come choose our God or our power, then they'll have those laws, right? But we went a whoring after their gods. That's spiritual fornication.
That's right.
That's why we going through what we going through. What we got next?
I want to add to that real quickly, jump to Psalms 147 and 19. I'll just read it instead of y'all going there. Saying the same thing you said right here. Psalms 147 and 19, He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statute and his judgments unto Israel.
Right.
He has not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them.
God.
Praise ye Ahiah.
And that's the scary thing. Listen to what you said. As for his judgments, they have not known them. I told my wife just the other day. I said, when you learn the judgments of Ahiah and you step outside of his laws, judgment become like the boogeyman. Because you don't know where it's going to come from.
Boy, you know better.
And that's the problem with Christians is that the pastors are not teaching them judgment. And because they're not learning judgment, they feel that they can do whatever they want to do. When you learn, when you start going to that old book and you see the earth opening up and swallowing up people because they didn't do what Ahijah did, that's the Malachi 3 and 6 I changed not. Therefore you Jacob are not consumed. So if the judgment back then was death, the judgment today
It's death.
is death. Son, the other nations don't know the
They don't
judgment.
understand it. They don't understand it.
They don't know the judgment. What we got next?
That's why
It's basically, we were telling Mackenzie something she did in school. She says, but the other kids were doing it too. I'm paraphrasing, you know. And the first thing we said was, we're not concerned for those other kids. You know better, you know. Therefore, you be punished. But all those other kids are getting, you know. And that's exactly what's going on here, you know. So you're right. When you come into this truth and the knowledge and understanding, it makes stepping outside. It makes it much harder because you now know there's no excuse.
There's no excuse.
There's no excuse.
Exactly.
And you mentioned something about the preachers. There's a passage in scripture, I can't find it now. It says, those that, I'm paraphrasing, those that don't teach others to keep the laws, they will be considered least in
That's
the
Matthew chapter 5.
Yeah, Matthew 5.
and 19.
Those that teach these commandments will be considered great.
Exactly.
So you got a lot of preachers that's falling away.
Exactly.
They're at the height of their moment right
Exactly.
now. You know, it's about the height of their
It's about to come down.
It's about to go down, man. It's about to go
Come
down. Yeah, exactly.
It's Hosea 1, 10 and 11. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it said unto them, ye are not my people, that's America, telling you that you are not Israel, that you are African American, there it shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living God. That means we waking up.
Yeah, we're waking up. Let me add to that. In the land where you're told you're not my people, sometimes it's your own kinfolk telling you. You know, and you sit down somewhere. You don't know what you're talking about. But according to the scripture here, I don't want to hear that. You know, so you got your own flesh and blood that's telling you, I don't want to hear that. You know, I'm reminded of one brother that made this statement. He says, y'all, look around your household, your loved ones, because some of them are not going to make it in. That's the reality of it. And so if you know, you pass through this life and you see that your loved one is on the other side, just know that judgment has been set. You know, so in other words, your love for the Most High is more important than anything ever, than your spouse, your children, your wealth, your vocation, job, whatever it is, your career, your dog, all of your accomplishments, your trophies. Your love for the Most High is more important than that. And even Paul had asked, what should separate us from the love of the Most High? You know, so that's our first love. You know, because anything can be created as a God if you let it. You know, put it before Him. You know, which is one of the first commandments. Thou shalt have no other God.
Exactly.
But He's jealous. He's jealous.
Yeah,
He's very
he
jealous.
mean that.
Yeah.
So He means that.
That wasn't to the world either.
It wasn't to the world. He's talking to us. He's talking to us.
He mean that.
First Peter 2, verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should shew forth the praises of Him who has called you out of darkness into marvelousness.
So marvelous light. Okay. I wear these fringes not to make an impression. I wear these fringes because there's a commandment for us to wear them. However, I wear these fringes because they really do remind me of these laws. What the fringes are for, you know. And brother, I really do believe they do work. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when you wake up.
So yeah, especially when you wake up. So if you got people looking at us, we're peculiar people. It's something about this brother here. Of all the brothers on the basketball court, this one here got fringes on. What's going on? We're peculiar people. We set apart. We do things different. Brother, you going to the concert Friday night? I can't help you.
Right.
You know, it's a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? man, you always, every time we try to hang out on a Friday, it's a Sabbath. I don't do that. You know. So there's a expectation that we have. That's what the Bible is telling us.
Even if you go back in time, the government used to experiment on us in the 50s and 60s, where you would see FBI agent or CIA, they would roam the ghettos because we were so different. It's the same thing with being peculiar. And it's saying, you are a chosen generation. That means of all the people that's on the earth, the Most High chose one.
Man,
out of all the races, the dark races, white races, you name it, he only chose one unto himself, a royal priesthood and a holy nation.
That's right.
We call on God for anything.
And that royal priesthood, it goes back, and I want to keep emphasizing that when we're not doing what we're supposed to do, how can we expect anybody else to? Because you read it in the Psalms, they don't have the judgments, they don't know the judgments, they don't know the law. You see what I'm saying? This is why he chose us, that they can see how it is supposed to be done. And when we don't do that, we letting them down, man. There is nothing worse in this world than a bad parent, right? You want to see a bad parent, follow, as the comedian Robert Harris said, follow a bad kid to the house, you're going to find you a bad parent that's going to answer the door. You know, you can tell them parents that don't take care of their kids because their kids ain't got no what? Self-respect, no respect for nobody else.
Right, no
they do
discipline.
exactly, man. We have a position in this world, man. We have a position in this world.
Wow, that's very powerful. You say that. That was a passage I wanted to bring out. Never mind. I'll pass on it. I'll bring it out a little bit later because I can't remember the scripture.
Okay, we'll go to Zechariah 2, 1 and 2.
Two. Okay.
Zechariah 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2. Go ahead if you got it.
I lift up my eyes again, and behold, and looked, and behold, a man with a measuring line in his hand. Then said I, whither goest thou? And he said unto me, to measure Jerusalem, to see what is the breadth thereof, and what is the length thereof.
I know Christians are familiar with that, but we're going to see what these measurements actually are. We're going to go to Revelation 11 and 1. Revelation 11 and verse 1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of God, and the altar, and them that worship therein. This is going to show, as Christians think some kind of palace is going to come out of the sky. We're going to see what this temple is and the measurements thereof. Go from there to Revelation 21, 9 through 17. Revelation 21, 9 through 17. You got it out?
Yeah, I can read it. Revelations 21, 9 through 17. And there came unto me one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials full of the seven last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride the Lamb's wife. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me the great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God.
Now this way y'all think it's actually a city coming down. Keep reading.
Okay. Having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates.
12 what?
12 gates.
12 what?
12 gates.
12 tribes of Israel. Read.
And at the gates 12 angels, and names written therein, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children
The
of
names
Israel.
of what?
The 12 tribes of the children of Israel. On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates.
Each gate represents the tribe. As we come into this, the kingdom, you come into that gate to your tribe. In other words, if you have Judah, Benjamin, and Levi on the west, when we come in once a year, you come in through that gate, through your tribe.
Your tribe.
And it's going to go all around Jerusalem. So it's not going to be nothing coming out of the heavens. It's actually going to be something that's being built. Read.
Okay. 3 gates for north. Okay, 13. On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb.
There you go.
And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof. And his city lieth foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. And he measured the wall thereof 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is, of the angel. Okay.
That was verse 17.
So I mean, just showing this place is actually going to be built by us, and that because we built every kingdom that we were slaves in, from Babylon, Greece, Rome. We built every last one of them, and we're going to build this. But the 144,000 and the chosen people are going to be the government that's in this kingdom. That's why you see 12 here and 12 there. Everything 12, 144. That's the 144,000. That's what it represents. So that ought to wrap. That's gonna wrap it up because we got to go into communion if we're still doing communion.
Yeah.
So that was good, man.